All right, before you join the trial, there's a couple things we'll want you to do. Even if you're the second chair, and even though you're probably going to remain muted the whole entire trial for the most part, there are a few things that you can do to ensure there are fewer disruptions during the course of trial. So, we want you to do these three basic things. First, find a quiet place to limit background noise. Find some place in your house, in your apartment, wherever you are, that'll be quiet, where there won't be people walking through, where people won't be interrupting you, where there aren't TVs on, etc. Make sure you have a quiet place because any noise that happens around you, if your microphone's on, can be picked up and can interrupt the trial. Number two, turn off all notifications on your computer and your cell phone or close any applications that might have notifications or alerts while you're in trial, such as your email. I know that if my email is on and open on my desktop, every time I get a new email, a little dinger goes off. And that means every time that happens, if my microphone's on, everyone in the trial would hear it and it could interrupt somebody. So just to limit the risk of that, make sure you turn off all applications and any kind of notifications that you have on your cell phone or on your laptop so you can minimize the number of disturbances. Third, we want you to silence your cell phone. Now, you can't really turn it off because you may need to communicate with your attorney or with someone else in the room during the course of trial, and that's one way we may be able to get a hold of you. However, we do want you to silence that cell phone so that even if somebody calls you or you get a text message, it won't create a sound that might interrupt the course of the trial or interrupt someone who's speaking. So before you ever even try to enter the room, make sure you take these steps in order to minimize disturbances during the course of the trial. You will have a set of pairings that will tell you what courtroom you're in at any given time. You'll also have a document that shows you a chart like this that lists the Zoom link for each one of those courtrooms, depending on the different day. So all you'll need to do is find the courtroom you're in at that time and click on that link. So here, if I was in courtroom 1, all I need to do is simply click on this link and it'll open up the Zoom application on my computer. Once that happens, the first thing you'll see is a box that says join with video or join without video. Now, we want you to join with video at first. This is because the presiding judge needs to check everyone into the room and make sure they're actually there before the trial starts. In order to do that, we want your video on so the presiding judge can see you. So when you first enter the room, we want you to click join with video. After you do that, you'll be taken to this room, and this is a waiting room. The waiting room is important because we need to make sure that the right people are getting in the right room. And also, if trials run a little bit long or run over, we need a place for you to wait while that trial is finishing up. And so you'll be in the waiting room until the judge comes in and admits you into that trial, which shouldn't take very long, but will take a few minutes, and you'll just need to wait for that. All right, now the judge has admitted me into the trial, and so now I've been given another choice, which says join with computer audio and test speaker and microphone. Again, while you'll be muted much of the trial, when you first enter, the judge will need to check you in, and so we want you to click join with computer audio until that check-in process is over. Now I'm in the meeting, and I wait here until the presiding judge has checked me in, and we begin the trial. First thing we'll want you to do is go ahead and rename yourself. And you can do this before the check-in process even begins. We want you to make sure everyone in the trial knows who you are and what your role in the trial is. So in order to do this, all you need to do is hover your cursor over the box where your own video appears or where your name appears. So here, I'm right here. When you do that, a little blue box with 3 white dots will appear in the upper right-hand corner. Simply click on that little box. That'll bring up a drop-down menu, and one of the things you can choose is to rename yourself. So click on that. When you do, whatever name you've entered will appear on the screen. Here it says my name, Robert Little. What we'd like you to do is simply enter in a dash, the word second chair, and then the side that you're the second chair for. So here, Robert Little dash second chair plaintiff. Then you simply click rename. Once you do that, your name will appear as you entered it in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, so that anyone in the trial at any point can simply hover over your box and will be able to see your name, who you are, and immediately understand what your role in that trial is. The next thing we're going to want you to do is to turn off your camera and mute your microphone. Now, while you may at some point in the trial need to turn your camera on and turn on your microphone or unmute it in case you're testifying or reading deposition testimony for your advocate, most of the trial you will probably have your camera and your micro off and your microphone muted. So this is simple enough. First, all you have to do is move your cursor. In the bottom left-hand corner, you'll see two icons appear. One that has a camera, and underneath the words stop video, and the other a microphone, and underneath the word mute. In order to turn off your camera, all you need to do is click on that camera icon, and when you do, you'll see a little red line appear through that camera icon. You'll also see your own video disappear at that point. So let's click on that. And as you see now, my video has disappeared. You can still hear me because I'm not muted, but my video has disappeared, my camera is off, and I'm no longer appearing on the screen. If at any point I need to turn my camera back on, simple enough, simply click that icon and again, the red line will disappear, and I'm back on screen. So you can turn your camera on and off through the course of trial to decide whether you're appearing on the screen or not appearing on the screen. But in general, unless you are actively speaking and the judge needs to hear you, your camera should be off as the second chair throughout the course of trial. In addition, if you need to mute yourself, all you need to do is click on the microphone icon where it says mute. And when you do, again, you'll see a little red slash appear through that microphone. So once I clicked on that, I was muted. No one would be able to hear me. No one would be able to hear what I was saying at that point. So once you need yourself to be heard, or if you need yourself to be heard, all you have to do is click on it again, and that will unmute you, and that little red line disappears, and therefore everyone in the room will be able to hear what you're saying. So once you've entered the room, once you've been checked in, and once you've renamed yourself, we want you to go ahead and turn off your camera and mute your microphone for most of the trial unless you need to be seen or you need to be heard. During the course of trial, in case you want to only see the two attorneys on the screen, any witnesses testifying, and the presiding judge, you may also want to hide non-video participants, including yourself, so that the only people that would appear on your screen are the people who are actually on camera and actually talking in the round, which will limit the number of boxes you'll see on the screen because there won't be the jurors and the other people have their cameras off. So once the trial begins, as we talked about a moment ago, you'll actually turn your camera off and you'll mute yourself. So I'm going to do that now. You'll still be able to hear me because I'm doing a screen recording, but theoretically, I've now got my camera off and I'm muted. At that point, in order to hide all the non-video participants, all you have to do is hover your cursor over any non-video participant in the trial, anyone who's got their camera off, including yourself. And again, you'll see that little blue box with 3 white dots appear in the upper right-hand corner of that box. Simply click it. When you do, a drop-down menu will come up, and this time I want you to select Hide Non-Video Participants. Once you do that, anyone whose video camera is off will disappear from your screen, and all you will see is the people whose cameras are on who are actively on the screen. Now, if you want to bring back up the non-video participants, all you need to do is go to this menu at the top of the page that says Total Non-Video Participants, and here it says 2. Simply click on that. When you do, Show Non-Video Participants will come up, and all you need to do is click on that, and it'll bring that back up, all the non-video participants in the room. So now you can see everyone who's in the room if you need to. So right now I'm in what's called gallery view. That means that anyone who's on the screen, anyone who's in the trial is going to appear on my screen in these little boxes. Now, obviously, we would have hidden our non-video participants by now, so John Doe, the juror, wouldn't show up. But anyone who's in the trial would show up in gallery view and has their camera on once I've hidden non-video participants. But you can switch that. Up in your upper right-hand corner, if you move your cursor, a little button appears that says Speaker View. If I click on Speaker View, then one person, whoever's speaking, that's not yourself, will appear here in the middle of the screen in a much bigger view. And you'll actually be moved along with everyone else to the top of the screen where you'll appear in little tiny boxes. And so the main person who's speaking will be in a bigger box there, and then everybody else will be smaller at the top of the screen. You can go back and click on what's called gallery view at the same exact place. And that'll bring up back up this view, which shows everyone in the room on your screen at the same time. Now, we're not going to tell you which view to use. It's up to you, and you can switch back and forth as the trial's going on and find what you like or what you prefer. But what we would say is that in general, we suggest that during pretrial and direct and cross-examinations, you select gallery view so you can see the presiding judge, the attorneys, and any witness who's testifying all at the same time. But then during openings and closings, you may want to select speaker view so that the attorney who's presenting the opening or the closing is big on your screen the entire time they're doing so. But it's up to you ultimately. It's mostly important that you know the options are there and you can switch back and forth as you go.